of the last 7 meetings. So we'll see if that changes tonight.
Right, and I think they lead this all-time
Yes,
series,
they
and
do.
I think Rick Ryan had that in the paper today.
Yes, yes.
29-25. GW
Sounds
does, right?
Sounds right.
Well, I know it's always a heated game. You know, it's the Battle of the Hill. They talk about the GW and the South Hills, and they got the South Charleston Hill where you had that home. I think they actually played on GW's campus first, and they got that nice stadium up there, and they started winning. Then now we have the home field advantage down here in South Charleston, so it is definitely the Battle of the Hill.
Yeah, I was actually working at George Washington High School when they made that transition from Laidley Field. They played their home games up to the campus at George Washington High School up in South Hills. And, you know, the emphasis was, hey, look, there's nothing like high school football on Friday night on the campus.
Right.
And when you have to get out of that and go to a different venue, it's a challenge, I think, for fans. And it's just you lose something about that.
And you can practice where you play. Where you're going to play the games. I think there's something about where you practice. You get that home field advantage. Sometimes you don't get that when you have to play somewhere else.
Very much true. And so these schools kind of mirror each other in that, you know, George Washington was first to kind of do that, bring things back on campus, and then it was South Charleston's turn, and they said, yeah, you know, we need to do the same thing, and so they were able to move up here and just such a nice. And another thing both of these schools have in common is that they're kind of up on a, like you said, up on a hill. So traffic getting in and out of the games is a little tight, parking's a little tight in both venues. But as you said, that's a home field advantage kind of thing.
You got you got 119 separates them both. You know, it seems like that hill versus this hill. We always, when I was a South Charleston Black Eagle, we'd always brag who had the better hill.
Right.
We didn't have this nice campus that we have up here now, but we always who had the best hill. But the cool part about it is, Dave and Lisa, is you know these kids are friends. They're friends outside of the school. You see them running around doing a lot of things amongst the community in Charleston, whether it's summertime festivities or whatnot. But they know each other. Now they get to play against each other. It just makes it so much more fun.
And something they didn't have, Doug, back in 1965 was the internet. So these kids with social media get to know each other even better through different venues, different social platforms. So, you know, that contributes to the whole rivalry feel, I think.
It was always, regardless of records, this was one of the most hotly contested games of the season, regardless of who was good, who was bad. But this year, I think they're equally good. You know, they're impressive to have two good teams here in Pinal Valley like this.
Really, and we'll talk about that tonight, you know, as we looking forward at games. And, yeah, you're right. I mean, this is one of those we're going to have to look at. This could be anybody's contest here tonight. And we'll look at some others across the state as we look at, to do that. And one of the other ones that we're covering tonight will be live stream on the Game Day and the HD Media Network is Spring Valley at 3-1, I think 4-1 at Huntington 5-0 over there. And we'll have that live stream. You'll be able to watch that at our Gazette Mail and HeraldDispatch.com websites. And there, we also we'll have Alexia Wade, one of our correspondents over there, doing live tweeting on social media. So if you don't have time to actually stop and watch the game live, you can just pick it up and watch the tweets and things. And she'll be covering that and some of the atmosphere. She's actually getting over there. She told me today at around 6, I think, so she can tell. I think she's like in that Dew Crew over there at Huntington. Enjoying that, but. And I think it's always great. And we have Jen Mitchell up in Morgantown, and she's covering up there with Morgantown High, University High, and those schools on the weekend, and WU on Saturdays. And they do a great job of just kind of capturing what it's like to be there.
Here we are, David, week 6, midway through the high school season. We've talked about this a lot. The partnership with RSN Sports, the Charleston Gazette Mail, the Herald Dispatch. What a great venture this has been. You know, you brought a product and this tailgate atmosphere, and you've brought just the fun. You brought that back to life 7-8 years ago with high school sports. And now the platforms that we utilize, the Charleston Gazette Mail and Herald Dispatch, to get that out to our viewership. I mean, we've had phenomenal reception. I mean, over 10,000 people just last week's game. We even did the Majorette Festival, Lisa, on Tuesday, and we had over 10,800 people viewed the Majorette through the RSN Charleston Gazette Mail platforms.
That's great.
Yeah, it's just so much. In fact, there's just so much content. You know, if you're following along on that HD Media Network now with RSN Sports and with the Gazette and Gazette Mail, Herald Dispatch, and the other papers, you know, Wayne, Logan Banner, and those papers all included, that it's really through the course of a week. You know, we're always shuffling around trying to see, okay, what's going to be the lead thing this week?
Right.
So there's so much going.
I was just thinking about you saying, Doug, covering the Majorette Festival at Laidley Field. You know, how valuable is that? being able to cover that and use it in, on the digital platform for, like, we're in the age of a global pandemic, and so a lot of our older family members, our grandparents, they're really not comfortable going out and being in a crowd situation, but they want to see the grandbabies perform during festivals like this. What a unique thing that you're offering them, so that they're able to see their babies participate in something and not have to physically be there.
It's amazing how I'm like you, Lisa. I still like to pick up the paper and read about it the next day, and you see. But the Majorette Festival,
you're dating us, Doug, but okay.
You always have great pictures and great stories.
Yes, absolutely.
But to bring it to life. And the cool part is that everything you said is correct, but then the kids get to go back and watch it.
Sure.
Because these streams, they stay up there active for weeks to come, and they can go up and they can razz their friends a little bit and watch, hey, did you see that tackle I made? Did you see that pass I made? So we keep it up there. And same thing with the Majorette Festival. All those participants didn't get to see it later. They could go back and watch it again.
Doug, you make an excellent point, because last Friday night, Brooks and I did the Hoover at Sissonville game, live streamed that. 70-0 blowout game. We had 1,500, some 2,000 that watched it live. But that game through the course of the week is up to like 5,600 views on that. People coming back and watching over through there and things. So, yeah, you're exactly right. People can watch that on demand at their convenience, be able to see the best of sometimes and get through there. So, good stuff. Good stuff ahead. We've got a big show ahead. We've got Brian Wall from Parmar Stores. This is their 54th anniversary today of Parmar
All right.
You guys had one. There's one just right off the hill here. I get it all the time.
I got this from there right there. Yeah.
So he's going to be here. We've got Bryce Casto, hopefully going to be able to join us. He's the athletic director here at South Charleston. Bryce Casto, if you haven't heard the name before, he's coached at West Virginia State University, at Nitro High School, and here.
He was the coach when I was up here back in 1995 when we won the state AAA championship. Bryce Casto was the head coach.
Wow.
I want to talk about that. So
blast from the past.
And then last, our guest picker tonight, who makes it up here, is the mayor of South Charleston, Mr. Frankie Mullins. So, big lineup tonight. We're going to take a break, though, and let you hear from some of our sponsors, and we'll be back for segment 2 right after this. You're watching sports on the Dutch Miller Tailgate Show, RSN Sports, powered by HD Media.
Where relationships matter.
We know who we are, where we've been, where we're going. Like hospitals all over America, we are changing, redefining, restructuring ourselves to be the best community health system in the region we serve. We are 2 hospitals with more than 30 locations, 450 providers, and 1 mission: to heal. As one, we are Thomas Health, caring for our communities today and tomorrow.
People keep asking me how Todd Judy Ford has the best selection of vehicles at a time of national shortage.
The secret is our 130% of Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in.
Everyone wants to trade the car with us and get more money.
And now we're making it even better.
We will beat any other dealer's trade offer by $1,000 guaranteed.
If we can't beat it, we'll just give you the cash.
So bring in that car, upgrade your vehicle, and get top dollar for your trade-in now.
Just go to ToddJudyFord.com and see for yourself.
A new day begins, and what happens today must be covered, reported, and passed on to everyone in the region we serve. We are journalists, staff writers, editors, storytellers. Who are we? We are HD Media, trustworthy and always here for the times we live in.
And welcome back to the Dutch Miller Tailgate Show live on RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media. And speaking of HD Media, we just seen their commercial coming out of there, and we were talking before we went in, like I said, what a great partnership this has become now, and be able to get out here and cover these games like this. But if you really want the in-depth side, if you're the true sports fan, you want the subscription. And you said last week, 99 cents a month. Right?
99 cents a month. You get a digital subscription. You get to read about the games. Rick Ryan, Grant Traylor do a fantastic job. Luke Creasy, the whole gang. I mean, we have some talented reporters, and what better way? You get to see it and now read about it the next day.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, and we can't do this without the sponsors that make this go. And one of them, I see Mr. Brian Wall, the president of Parmar Stores, heading this way, so we'll have him on next segment. But let's mention those Frontier Communications. We mentioned they help power our production truck, and let's mention that too on production tonight. Ethan Young, Dan Shreve over there on the controls, making this happen. On camera, Brooks Farrell, and making this go tonight. Frontier Communications, Parmar Stores, and Dutch Miller Auto Group. Thomas Health System, you just seen their commercial there coming out of that break. Thomas Health, the hospital system just right off the hill here too. You can almost walk to it here from this campus.
Yep.
And Army Recruiting of West Virginia, those guys are going to be with Alexa tonight in Huntington. And I think they have the T-shirt launcher tonight, so they're going to have some fun down there.
Nice.
These guys always are a blast to hang out with. Ben Salango, Ben's been on the show already.
Yep.
Great guy, and hopefully we'll have him back. West Virginia Coal Association. Hey, them coal trains still rolling through the state. Get stopped every now and then. That's a good sight to see. Poca Valley Banks, like to see, they community banks, and they operate here in the Metro Kanawha Valley. Thank them for the sponsorship. Chick-fil-A Southwich, they help sponsor our player of the game every week. So we'll have another one tonight, definitely out of that Huntington Spring Valley.
Carl's famous strawberry milkshake.
And we were just there a couple weeks ago,
Yes.
just last segment, right?
Last Wednesday, right?
That's right. And Adelphia Sports Bar and Grill, we've been there a couple times.
Yep.
Already great place to hang out and have fun. If you like sports, that's the place to be. We were in there with Coach Edwards, right, from GW head coach, and assistant coach Jason Smith. And then while we were there, the former quarterback from Marshall.
Mr. Wells.
Great Wells.
Yeah, walks in. So it's a great place to be if you like sports. This segment here we want to look at real quick. Let's go back and look at last week. It's high school football. I mean, this is the time of the year. It's October the 1st, and a lot going on around this stage. Friday night, some big matchups coming ahead. We're going to look at those. But last Friday night, and we said this, Lisa, before we went on air, it's beautiful weather.
Yes,
Beautiful weather.
perfect.
Week 6. And
Yes.
we haven't had a bad Friday yet. I don't want to mess it up, but this is looking good.
I mean, I can recall maybe last season, if not last season, it was definitely not last season, the season before, we had to have not just a rain delay, it was a hurricane delay. And so a lot of the games were canceled due to inclement weather, and so we had to take the show indoors. Even though we're not in a tropical area or, on an island, we still get the remnants of those hurricanes every once in a while that affect our football seasons. So
it's so good.
October 1st, fall is the perfect football atmosphere.
Really is.
Rivalry night here in South Charleston on top of their hill. I'm just really looking forward to it. You got the band over here. You got the cheerleaders warming up. This is what it's all about. High school football at its best.
All right, we're going to take a real quick look here down the roster. Some games last week. We had on the network last week Huntington coming in undefeated at Capital. Capital was at 1-3, And that's one everybody thought, well, Capital's down, Huntington's going to roll over that. But that wasn't the case.
No.
That game stayed pretty close right up until late in the second half.
Capital made it competitive for that. I know that first half they came out to play. I think they were tired of losing. They wanted to prove something, so they came out and shocked them a little bit.
But in the end, it was the Highlanders that come out with the win on the road, so they'll take that back home tonight, and we'll talk about that game with the big game with Spring Valley
They
tonight.
must have drank that Mountain Dew at halftime and came out and they whipped Capital.
Well, speaking of Spring Valley at home last week, and these Black Eagles here of South Charleston went over there undefeated, but they didn't come out that way.
Do we have to talk about that one, Lisa?
That one hurts a little.
That one was
ugly.
That
one stings, I think, a little bit.
I mean, I was excited about that game. I didn't know. I thought the Black Eagles would go in there. I think they just had some turnovers. They had some early game struggles, and the next thing you know, one thing led to another. They just couldn't get back. They got too deep of a hole.
Doug, as much as I've been around South Charleston teams over here, and since they've kind of had a renaissance and had some of the good teams, they've always struggled with Spring Valley.
Yeah.
It's just
they got their number.
It's a different style of play, and they just don't. There's two different styles, and for whatever reason, Spring Valley always comes out, it seems like, on the upper edge of that. Another game was University, now 5-0, 35-6 winner over Fairmont Senior. I think the thing coming out of that game is that Fairmont Senior, a double-A program you expect to, they're usually playing it in Wheeling Island in December, is now 2-3. They just got a tough schedule. They just packed it up, and now you're 2-3, and you wonder, where it's going to be. Are they going to make the playoffs? And if they do, they're going to be on the road.
Yeah, and at this point, that is always in the back of all the high school coaches and teams' minds is the playoffs now. We're midway through the season. Every game counts, every win counts, and so does every loss. So you have to take every game seriously from this point on, especially those teams that you said they're in danger. They're already in that danger zone of not making the playoffs if they lose one or two more games.
Absolutely. I think that's why tonight's game is so important here in South
Charleston.
Charleston.
Yes.
All right, Cabell Midland 4-1 now, 45-6 winner over Parkersburg, and they just put them on it.
Yeah.
And Cabell Midland now with the only loss being to Huntington in a very narrow
close
win
game
that we had on the network.
Yep.
So
they're
Cabell
good.
Midland.
They're good. I'm just going to add this. They're good on both sides of the ball because the statistics that I read, Cabell Midland held Parkersburg to just 107 total yards.
Wow.
But on the other side of the ball, they had 288 total yards in the first half. So that tells you they are effective. Either side of the ball, they can get it done.
You're starting to see the powers emerge. You see the Huntington teams doing really well. The Cabell Midland, Spring Valley, and even Huntington doing well. You see the University High and those and that Morgantown area. Now Kanawha Valley has a couple teams, and obviously the Eastern Panhandle. But who's going to be the big winner in Cabell County and down that way? Because there's three really good teams
it's
down
tough.
there.
Yeah, you've got 4 or 5 up and down this 64 corridor that are really going to be vying. And we're talking about here tonight. They're vying for home field advantage, first round playoff advantage. So. I'm going to stop and take a quick break right there. We're going to take a break here from our sponsors. I'm cueing in our producer, Mr. Dan Shreve, because one of our sponsors.
There he is.
Yeah, Brian Wall from Parmar Stores just walked near the set here, and we'll get him on during that break and come back, and we'll finish this up, and then we're going to talk about WVU and Marshall and what happened last week with those guys. Fourth quarter.
That'd be great.
You're watching the Dutch Miller Tailgate Show live on RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media. We'll be right back.
What started as the Parmar Oil Company in 1967 has grown into 116 convenience stores in 4 states. Parmar convenience stores offer monthly product specials and grab-and-go items. Located just down the street from where you live, Parmar stores are all about being your above-par convenience store. If you don't have a Parmar store near you now, you will soon. Parmar Convenience Stores, neighbors serving your community and making life a little bit easier every day.
Due to the recent impact on automotive supply chains, the fastest way to get a brand new vehicle right now is to order direct from the manufacturer. Introducing the Dutch Miller Subaru Advantage of ordering the vehicle you want the way you want it and getting it faster. Just visit Dutch Miller Subaru between now and October 9th. Order the exact vehicle you want and register to win $5,000. We're taking orders now, and it pays to order from Dutch Miller, the home of friends and family pricing for everyone.
Looking for a friendly bank that you can turn to in your community? Bank where the decisions on your needs are made locally. With online banking and 7 locations. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
We know who we are, where we've been, where we're going. Like hospitals all over America, we are changing, redefining, restructuring ourselves to be the best community health system in the region we serve. We are 2 hospitals with more than 30 locations, 450 providers, and 1 mission: to heal. As one, we are Thomas Health, caring for our communities today and tomorrow.
People keep asking me how Todd Judy Ford has the best selection of vehicles at a time of national shortage.
The secret is our 130% of Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in.
Everyone wants to trade the car with us and get more money.
And now we're making it even better.
We will beat any other dealer's trade offer by $1,000 guaranteed.
If we can't beat it, we'll just give you the cash.
So bring in that car, upgrade your vehicle, and get top dollar for your trade-in now.
Just go to ToddJudyFord.com and see for yourself.
And welcome back to the Dutch Miller Tailgate Show, live on RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media. Dana Farrell along with Lisa Odie and Mr. Doug Scaff over on my far left. But my immediate right here, joining us on this set, the Parmar Stores president, Mr. Brian Wall.
Hello.
Brian, welcome to the set.
Thank you, Dana. Appreciate it. Good
And
to
welcome
be
to South Charleston. You had to go right by one of your stores to get here, right?
Get here, yes.
Brian, I even did you one better, Brian. I stopped in and got me a little Red Bull down there.
We appreciate that, Doc.
That's hospitality right there.
Listen, I was just glad to see when I got up here that you had a stool for me, and I didn't have to try to sit down in one of your offices. I feel like Hugs over here sitting on the stool beside you.
You can credit that to Frank Gardini.
Yeah.
He made sure we had your stool.
Yes.
I will say that's
The
great.
days of Frank.
Yeah. So, Brian, today, if we understand it, today is the 54th anniversary of Parmar Stores. Is that correct?
Yes. Started October 1st back in 1967.
Wow.
And so we officially turned 54 years old today. So yes, not me now. Don't lump me in that. But I got about 11 years on me. But
what's the celebration? What kind of deal can I get if I go down here to Parmar after the game?
Well, just about everything ends in 54 cents except for gas.
No.
Okay.
Exclude the gas.
Except the gas. All right. But
$2.54 would sound good right now.
Yeah. Yep. We're having a lot of deals. No doubt our vendors really helped us out with this and try to, we do everything, whatever our year end. We've done last year. We did a 53-cent deal and 54 starting. So all month long, when you go to a Parmar store, about everything you buy will be for 54, ending in the 54.
So this is like the entire month. Almost the rest of the high school football season.
That's right. It's not a one-day deal. So no, it'll be at all stores. So we've got 166 stores now. Opened up our latest one yesterday in Lancaster, Ohio.
Wow.
Got 95 of those are here in the state of West Virginia.
95 stores in West Virginia.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah, you're almost across the entire.
Yes. Yeah. When we start,
footprint.
I came here 5 years ago. We had 49, so we've added 116 over the last 5 years, and we also added about 1,300 employees over that time.
I know when I try to get him, he's always on the road. You got to text him.
That's right. It's the best way.
Yeah. So where was the original Parmar store open, the very first one?
Parkersburg. So the Par stands for Parkersburg, Mar stands for Marietta. That's how it. So it's named after the towns. The first two towns they were in.
Huh.
Kind of stuck. We get asked that a lot. What does Par and Mar stand for? And but that's it. They named us after the cities, and kind of taking the cities, I guess, everywhere else, if you will. But we've been fortunate here over the last, especially here in the Valley. We've added 12 stores here in the Valley over the last few years. And the one you mentioned here down here at the bottom of the hill, no doubt that's a pro Black Eagle market. But you have to watch out is when we got a new one here and we got a new one in Nitro, so we don't have to try to commingle, if you will. Yeah, and took a couple of new ones downtown too.
So, like when you're looking for a new location, do you guys go out and scout that, or do you take suggestions? People say, hey, Could you put a store here?
We take them about any way we can get it, pretty much. But I will say we do a lot of scouting ourselves, and a lot of that just, and I've been chased out of a few places like that. You just kind of sit there and look and see if you think that this would be a good spot. I'll give you an example. The store on the west side of Charleston was 7-Eleven for years down by the middle school there, and it was closed for about 3 years. And my background, I'd called on that store one before when I worked for Frito-Lay years ago, and remembered how well it did. Kind of sit down there one day and watch traffic go by and watch all the people go by on the streets, and said, hey, let's try to open this thing back up. And no doubt that that's been a good one for us. So I'll say that.
So you're kind of like a football scout. You're scouting football players. You're scouting locations for Par Mar stores.
I took all my athletic talent and put it in a convenience store talent. That's what I try to do. All right.
Hey, Brian, Brian, the one thing I want to say is, not only do you have a ton of great employees, employ a lot of high school students as well and stuff like that, but you're always giving back to the community. You give back. I see your name. I see your sponsorship. I see your donations. The money that you bring in from the people, you keep it right here in the communities, and you always give back like what you've done with high school sports. And talk to us why getting involved in high school sports is.
Yeah, there's first of all, there's nothing, whether it's a kid that's 2 years old, a kid that's 18-year-old, you can put a smile on a kid's face to do anything. There's nothing in the world beats that. And we try to come back in the communities that we support. I've said before, you can go over any baseball field, football field across the county, and if we don't have a sign up, it's because somebody didn't ask us to put one up. So we try to come in and support the locals just because, look, sometimes all you think about is what people do for you. Well, we want to do for them as much as we do for us. They don't have to stop at the bottom of the hill. You didn't have to stop to get a Red Bull on the way up here. So, we try to.
Actually, he did.
You know this guy.
That's a whole different story.
I got 3 little boys under the age of 5. Red Bull's like water to me.
I hear you.
That was very necessary.
Every time I've ever had a meeting with Dougie, he comes in hot. He says, "Coming in with 5 minutes to spare."
That's right.
But last weekend. For example, we were looking at we did do the live stream for WVU and Marshall with the Thunder in the Mountains Tennis Invitational, and they were at the last minute scrambling to pick up a couple of key sponsors to make sure they had made that very nice, because they had school, Villanova University, they had Radford University, St. Francis, some big schools coming in here with that, and they really wanted to put on a good show for West Virginia and the city of Charleston here while they were here. And I messaged this guy. Yeah, we're on the road again. I couldn't get him on the phone. I just said, hey, here's what they need, and here's what, can you guys jump in? And within 24 hours, you guys were on board.
Well, I'd heard Rusty on Dave Allen's show talk about how good it was, and when you said he needed a little help, I thought I'd better go ahead and try to help him. So it was one of those deals where, like I said, anytime you can give back to the communities that you operate in, people are in our stores every day trying to do something. We're going somewhere. So if we can't turn around and give back to them, something's wrong with us.
And it was great seeing it too. That was women's tennis, too. So a lot of time you see all the hoopla around football and basketball, but it was good to see like women's tennis. And I know we do a lot here with our programming, try to promote soccer and softball and baseball and everything else. So anything you can do to promote participation, I think that's fantastic, Brian.
Well, speaking of WVU.
Uh-oh, here we go.
All right, so we got you on here. We got to put you on the hot seat. Let's talk about last weekend and that game at Oklahoma. What were your takeaways, Brian, on that game?
Well, let me say this. Our defense played about as good as the defense. How many times have we seen us go to Norman over the last decade and just get blitzed?
Oh, yeah.
The game was over in the first quarter.
Absolutely.
We went down there one year ranked in the top 10, and after the first quarter, we weren't even in it no more, and had a couple of our players thrown out for targeting and things like that. I thought our defense, played awesome. No doubt they're going to be a little tired at the end. I heard that. Hey, we still kept them under 20 in their own place, and they put over 60 on us before that.
Anytime you can hold Oklahoma to 13 points in the first, almost for the whole game, that's big time.
I agree.
I'm going to agree with everybody, all your opinions, because I feel like that was one of the best overall performances, defensive performances in the Neil Brown era, period.
I agree. Well, I talked to some of the coaches there going into the last weekend. One thing they came out for said, hey, if they're going out here scouting these kids and saying, come to WVU, what could not be better than playing on prime time on a Saturday night?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
nice opportunity.
Yeah, so I thought that was look, I know we're dancing around it there. No doubt we came back with a loss, but I think we learned a lot from it. I think, like, no doubt that Coach Leslie had that defense cranking, and I think coming out of it, Coach Brown has said, hey, he knew what they were learning for. I think that's the biggest thing about Coach Brown is even in a defeat, he has no trouble telling you when the game is over with. Once he went and dissected it was exactly where he feels they got beaten, where they got to work on there. So, so again, we come out of that. We can build on that for the rest of the year. Big game tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit of an emotional deal, sentimental deal to retire Darryl Talley's jersey there at the same time. They'll probably have a lot of older Mountaineer.
Do you plan to be there?
Yeah, I saw Brian Joswiak. He was in for that game, and I know that Coach Brown's going to have him. Some of the older guys to talk to him. And I think more than anything, I saw Coach Nealon earlier this week. One thing they were talking about was earlier of how this team, West Virginia had a team there in the 90s, in the 80s before major senior year or junior year that, they lost about 5 games by a total of 20 points. This team here, granted, we're 2-2, but hey, we've been in every game, and it's been to the end here. So this could be another building year, here for the future, if you will.
Well, Brian, you and I have been to numerous games, and you just leave that game just so disappointed in the effort and the team. But we can't say that this year. I've seen our team, with the exception of the first game, it was the first game, but I think they have really stepped up, and you see the week-to-week, the maturation of the players and the coaching staff and the play calling as well. And I feel good where we are. You tell me we're going to go to Oklahoma. I was scared to death being on prime time. I thought we might get embarrassed that game. Right. I felt really good coming out of there. Here. And then with the chance to win the game, I wasn't expected to go to bed with the chance to beat Oklahoma at Oklahoma.
Right.
So.
Well, hey, and you take it, we had a couple of misfortunes there late. One thing about
just some missed opportunities.
Absolutely.
Really.
I've heard a couple of things. You blame it on this, you blame it on that. Hey, all of our kids played together as one. You saw even there when a couple of them messed up at the end, when the center messed up, everybody was over there supporting him, getting him ready to get out there. And, that's a homegrown boy from Fairmont that's going to take that from a learning experience and move on here.
It's like he had 57 great snaps and he had one bad one. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
He can, but that going against the top-notch NFL players like he was on that defensive line. So
absolutely. Well, and you say the other thing too is that this team's young. We don't have a lot of.
They are young.
We're talking about we got a freshman quarterback coming in playing every now and then, but hey, Day can come back again next year. He's a junior again, this year. So besides Letty Brown, being a senior, our defense is young and they're talented, stacked. We could lose Stills this year, but Mesidor there in that middle, he is a monster.
Well, I'm an optimist like you. I'm always I think we're going to win every game we go out there, but I believe in Neal Brown. I think he's got a plan. I like how he teaches the kids to respect each other and the fans and love West Virginia and the state they play for.
Absolutely.
So you guys kind of rolled right into what our theme was here on the next segment was looking at season takeaways so far and then what you see ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say I really like the fact that when Neal Brown came out with his signature trademark, Trust the Climb, that serves so many purposes when you think about when he says that. Not only does it develop the trust from the fans, it also, whenever they have a loss like this, it kind of reassures the team and the coaching staff that, hey, we're going to get there. This is another step in that climb.
Right.
So it serves, dual purposes, and I think he couldn't have picked a better signature mark for himself.
Right.
I agree. Look, he came out and said again that we're trusting the climb this year. He has not said we've reached the top yet.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
right. It's perfect.
That hasn't been said yet. He's not said we've reached the top. We're there. He said we're still trusting the climb. Now, I'm sure that'll change if he tries to trust the climb for 10 years. I'm sure somebody say something. But
I tell people we got a lot of tall mountains in West Virginia. It's a little taller.
Eventually, you got to get there.
It's not a step ladder; it's a fire ladder.
My dad used to work for one of Pat Graney's companies, and they hauled fuel up on mountains, and their motto was "We climb mountains." And my dad would say, "Yeah, we wade a lot of mud holes too."
So, what do you see? I guess finish out the year. You have a prediction?
I think we're going to lose one more game. I think one more, and I mean that. I think tomorrow we'll come out ready to roll. If our the deal is, if our offense catches up with our defense, we will be great.
Yeah.
I mean, unreal great.
Right.
And our special teams is good. I mean, you think how good our Winston Wright's one of the best we've had up there in a while.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And the offense, it shows sparks of promise. You
Yes.
know, like that first drive against Oklahoma, it was clinical. I mean, it was perfect. Like, I watched it and I was like, is this the same offense that's been played? But then they kind of sputtered.
Right.
So,
well, again, you go to Norman, that first – we go down, I think it was, 17 plays we'd had in the first drive. You know, that
doesn't happen.
No.
Right.
No,
I've been out there numerous times like you, Brown, where 3 and out. 3 and out. I was like, oh, man, that was a good
it
drive.
was a beautiful thing.
But they're starting to put together. You know, anytime you can go to Oklahoma, a top 5 team in the country, and come out like that. I know the coach doesn't like moral victories, but it definitely was a moral victory.
Absolutely.
All right, so
agreed.
You're here now with us on this set in South Charleston, West Virginia. You don't live too far from here.
No.
You're from Logan, West
Yes,
Virginia,
sir.
and you work across the river from Parkersburg, West Virginia,
yes,
right?
Yes. Yes.
And then,
look, I think we all know if you're going to work in this state, you're going to get used to driving, no matter where you're at.
And not in straight lines, right?
No.
Amen.
It would something would be wrong with it.
So I don't know how many high school games that you've been able to get out to, but hopefully if this is your first, you picked a good one because I think this is going to be a great, well, we know it's a great atmosphere, and people are really starting to stream in the stadium. We're about 45 minutes out from kickoff, and it's just, you can see the energy starting to pick up here. We said it's a rivalry type of game, so there'll be a lot of enthusiasm here. We're looking forward to it here, and we said the same thing. We have live stream on the network tonight, Spring Valley at Huntington. We're going to live stream that game as well. So
one of the better Huntington teams in a while. You know, that is one thing I will say, that where we have so many stores, I can kind of set my schedule up maybe to be at a place where a good game's going on there at the end. And was able to see the Highlanders earlier this week and or earlier this season, and you know, they came down and already got a couple wins that they haven't had in a while. But no doubt Spring Valley, you know, they pretty much been raising kids for WVU here since Coach Brown's been there. You know, for the last 2 or 3 years, a couple of homegrown boys go up there playing, and a couple even like the Nestor that transferred in. So, hey, a lot of, you know, even from my home county, I think Chapmanville's in town tonight playing Hoover. You know.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
that game's coming up.
Yeah, I don't want to say that Chapmanville said they're going to drop 70 on them. You know what I mean? It'd probably be the opposite.
Oh, let me tell you, there's some heat over that score from last week.
I'm with you. I read up a little bit on it, and even what you'd said maybe in some social media posts. But
I called that game. I was on that game on the call on it. It was that was a tough one to.
I don't care if you get beat 70-0 in any sport, no matter what it is, you're going to be a little hot.
That's hard to swallow. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Right. Well, we thank you for coming over, and I don't know if you're on your way home or hopefully you got the evening or whatever. But we just appreciate your input, not only here but just what you do. As Doug justifiably pointed out, what you do week in and week out in Par-Mar stores in general, what you guys do across the state of West Virginia to help. I mean, it's what makes these things go.
Right. So. Well, let me say this. We've been fortunate to partner with RSN and Dana for the last 5-6 years. And, you know, now with HD Media stepping in here, we look forward to continuing doing this. But I think all of us, the biggest thing about all this we're doing is this is all about these kids. You know what I mean? There ain't nothing better than being able to come out and talk about our youngins that's coming up and trying to play ball or cheerlead or whatever the case may be. You know, here for especially there in their hometown, like you said, big rivalry game tonight. You know, my kids both went on the school up on the hill, and I noticed coming up here today, it had a little sign that said the real hill. I thought that was kind of I thought that was kind of neat.
That's good stuff. That's a good rivalry kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like to see that.
But again, we appreciate the support, and good to be able to partner with you all, and we look forward to seeing what happens here for the rest of the year. But I appreciate y'all having us on.
Basketball season.
Yes,
you guys have all kinds of things on the lineup there. We're going to be a part of that. So we're looking forward to it.
You know, we'll be at state again for the shootout at the Big House this year, and talked to Coach Green about that a little bit yesterday. Got a Legends deal over at GW here coming up in December again. So, again, we look forward to it.
Some big announcements coming up. Well, we thank you for being on the show with us. You're watching Sports on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media. Dutch Miller Tailgate Show. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
What started as the Par-Mar Oil Company in 1967 has grown into 116 convenience stores in 4 states. Par-Mar convenience stores offer monthly product specials and grab-and-go items. Located just down the street from where you live, Par-Mar stores are all about being your above-par convenience store. If you don't have a Par-Mar store near you now, you will soon. Par-Mar convenience stores, neighbors serving your community and making life a little bit easier every day.
Due to the recent impact on automotive supply chains, the fastest way to get a brand new vehicle right now is to order direct from the manufacturer. Introducing the Dutch Miller Subaru advantage of ordering the vehicle you want the way you want it and getting it faster. Just visit Dutch Miller Subaru between now and October 9th. Order the exact vehicle you want and register to win $5,000. We're taking orders now, and it pays to order from Dutch Miller, the home of friends and family pricing for everyone.
Looking for a friendly bank that you can turn to in your community? Bank where the decisions on your needs are made locally. With online banking and 7 locations. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
We know who we are, where we've been, where we're going. Like hospitals all over America, we are changing, redefining, restructuring ourselves to be the best community health system in the region we serve. We are 2 hospitals with more than 30 locations, 450 providers, and 1 mission: to heal. As one, we are Thomas Health, caring for our communities today and tomorrow.
People keep asking me how Todd Judy Ford has the best selection of vehicles at a time of national shortage.
The secret is our 130% of Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in.
Everyone wants to trade the car with us and get more money.
And now we're making it even better.
We will beat any other dealer's trade offer by $1,000 guaranteed.
If we can't beat it, we'll just give you the cash.
So bring in that car, upgrade your vehicle, and get top dollar for your trade-in now.
Just go to ToddJudyFord.com and see for yourself.
A new day begins, and what happens today must be covered, reported, and passed on to everyone in the region we serve. We are journalists, staff writers, editors, storytellers. Who are we? We are HD Media, trustworthy and always here for the times we live in.
There you go. And welcome back to the Dutch Miller Tailgate Show, live on RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media. We are live on site at South Charleston High School, South Charleston, West Virginia. Trackside here, and joining us on the set, you see behind me, are the cheerleaders at South Charleston High School. And to my right, the mayor of South Charleston High School, Mr. Frankie Mullins. So we got a lot of black. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, listen, I couldn't be outdone here.
Costume change.
I'm glad he changed. I'm glad he changed.
You know, I wanted to make sure that I was fully representing the Black Eagles here.
October, and we got a costume change.
Yeah,
Right.
has to.
I mean, this is the. I don't know if this is any indication of the way the score picks
I
are going to
know,
go
right?
tonight, or what.
I just got this eerie feeling, though.
Yep.
For you GW fans out there, hold on. I mean, Lisa and I are still out here. We're going to try to hold some ground for you.
We'll see what happens.
So first of all, we got the cheerleaders with us here tonight.
Hello.
All right, girls.
How are you all?
So are you pumped about this game?
Yeah.
The most exciting game of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, of course it is.
So
All
do
right.
you have a little bit of extra excitement, some extra juice for tonight's game?
For sure.
Yeah.
It's the Battle of the Hill.
It's the pride, Battle of the Hill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this game means a little bit more than like.
Definitely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Did you come up with any new cheers?
We have a few of mine. We
got a
have a
few?
few.
All right.
We want to hear one of your new cheers.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Carl Lee, one of our co-hosts here. He's in Minnesota tonight. Hey, you know.
He's missing all the fun.
Yeah, he's missing all the fun.
And he loves us. It's his favorite
Carl,
part.
if you're out there in Minneapolis.
No excuse, Carl. No
You're
excuse.
missing
No
out.
excuses.
Yes.
All right, we got. Give us a little cheer. Give us a little.
What's your
preview
go-to
over
cheer?
here.
Honestly, it'd probably be Yo, baby.
Oh,
I like it already.
Yeah, it's
How's
so
it go?
it's. I said you got to be an eagle or you got to go. I said you got to be an eagle or you got to go.
I love
I
it.
like
Right.
that. I love that one.
Yeah.
You say go, just off the hill, right? You just kick him off the hill.
Get off.
Nice.
The real hill, right?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
All right, so you guys are ready. Kickoff's in about 40 minutes, right?
Yeah.
You think you're ready?
Yeah.
We
We're ready.
Expecting a big crowd tonight. Students going to come out and support.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, let's talk about student sections because we rank the student sections at RSN Sports, and South Charleston's like a top 10 student section there, but they're having trouble trying to push up to the top there because the Huntington Dew crew is
The
and don't let me because they'll kill me. The zoo at the U University High. Oh, they're number 1 this week. But South Charleston going to get it tonight.
Yeah. We're gonna be ready. We're gonna be ready tonight, and our theme is blackout. We're all in.
Love it.
All in.
Love it.
All right, I need the camera to pan out because the eagle has landed.
The eagle has landed. It's game time. He's getting
The
ready.
eagle has landed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, girls, we appreciate you coming over and spending a little bit of time
We
with us.
appreciate you inviting us to come talk with y'all.
All right, had a
Good
great
luck
show.
tonight.
Thank you.
Go Black Eagles.
All right, so the girls are over here. The eagle came over here. I'm telling you, it is
Hey.
football time in
Football
America.
time.
I have to put a little plug in for those cheerleaders since I was a former cheerleader many moons ago. But people forget about what athletic talent it takes
Oh, my gosh.
to be a cheerleader.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know, they are athletes in their own sense, their own way, and people, you know, I think sometimes they're forgotten about because
Rain or shine, they're always out there.
they're out there.
Yeah.
They're doing their thing. So
Unconditional love.
That's
Well,
right.
Mayor-
accolades
Yeah.
to the
Mayor-
to the cheerleaders.
You've been with us before, and
Yeah.
we talk on the show all the time about what high school sports, especially in a state like West Virginia, what that community school, what that local high
Yeah.
school means for that community or that town. Tell us about what this school means for this town.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's a huge part of our community, and athletics are a huge part of our community. It's a quality of life issue, and your high school, you know, your high school is your identity sometimes. So we're very proud of them, and we're good partners with our high schools and all of our schools in the city. Very important to us.
Well, I know what you've done here and what the city's done to
Yeah.
produce this product out here. This field is immaculate.
Yeah.
You know, the amenities that they've done. I know other schools come here and they're envy of it, but
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough. Being a South Charleston resident, what it means to come back. Now, where was this 20 years ago when I was up here, man? I mean, come on. I used to get all dirty out there playing. But
Yeah,
now-
I did too. It was a little worse than that when I was here, Doug. It's important. It's important for our kids. It's important for us to support our students and our schools, and we try to do our share.
Well, since you've been mayor, I know your love for the South Charleston
Yeah.
continues, but high school sports, that's our youth, and you know where they can be proud and they can come back and give back to the community. I think it's great. It's
we
important.
want their experience to be amazing, and so that's what we're here for.
All right, so Mayor, I talked on earlier on the show. We talked about this new turf out here,
Yeah.
how nice it is. But this was one of the few schools and the facilities that I'm not sure that the turf is better than the real turf
Yeah.
that was taken.
Yeah.
You guys did such a good job. with
Yeah,
up here.
it was a really nice field, no question about it.
That was one of those you had to really hold your stomach when you seen them tear it up to put this turf down. But this
Yeah,
is
it
nice.
is. But this is beautiful. So,
And it's on campus. There's
And it's
so
on
many more
campus.
advantages to
Yeah,
that for the
yeah.
team. And
What about the
staff.
rivalry with the GW High School? Normally, this is like
Hey.
the first game of the season. I
Yeah.
think they kind of snuck it in the middle here.
Have you had any
Both
words
teams.
with the mayor of Charleston? Said anything?
no, I don't think she wants to right now. I think we got them. No,
We won't
it's
tell
a good
Amy.
rivalry. It's a great rivalry, and so it was a rivalry when I was here. It's been a rivalry
Yeah.
for decades, and so it's exciting.
She was actually on the set with us Sunday as
Yeah.
we were streaming the W Marshall tennis match over in Kanawha City. So
Okay.
she was joining in, but she didn't say anything bad about you. That's for sure. We kept that off she didn't know we
Stay
were
on
going to
Amy's
sneak up
good
here.
side.
Well, I think,
We get along fine.
It's great to see two teams from this area, GW and South Charleston, doing so well. You know,
Yeah.
representing our state and just the high school athletics. You know, you see pockets of schools in Huntington that always do well, Morgantown, Eastern Panhandle, but right here for GW, South Charleston Capital, we always, you kind of bring. It's always an inner city rivalry, but we also represent the state well.
Yeah, it does. I think it's great. The rivalry's always there, but when both teams are doing well, it's,
Yeah.
it's even more significant. So yes, it's great. Both teams are very good.
Well, speaking of rivalries,
Yeah.
tonight you are the guest picker tonight.
Okay.
So you get to come
Uh-oh.
on. We're going to go through some
He's
games.
he's on the hot seat.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're going to test you. We're going to test you on your not just South Charleston, but schools around West Virginia here. So, but we'll give you a little lead in. We try to be a little bit. Danica Patrick was on.
I saw her.
Yeah, College Game Day. So I think she was able to wing it.
Give her a couple softballs.
Yeah, I think I can do better than her.
I think you can do better. All right. So we're going to start up. First up tonight, Princeton, 3-0, undefeated now. AAA 3-0.
Yep.
On the road at Woodrow Wilson, 2-2. And Woodrow just coming off a big win over Morgantown. Now 2-2, playing at home. Princeton having had to sit because of COVID at 3-0. Who takes that game?
Yeah, go ahead, Doug. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? I think Woodrow's rebounded. I'm going to go with Beckley, the home field this week. Princeton's had a couple issues with COVID. They haven't been able to practice. They've been out of school. They are 3-0, however, but I'm going to go with the home team right here to get the Flying Eagles, the other Eagles, Woodrow Wilson back on track.
The other Eagles, I like it. Yeah, I like the fact, what you said, Doug. I like the fact that Woodrow Wilson beat Morgantown last week. That's a big win for them, signature win. COVID, of course, playing its role. So, yeah, I'm going with the Woodrow Wilson.
Well, I'm going to go with my fellow delegate, Marty Gearhart. He's going to like me for this pick. I'm going to go with the Tigers of Princeton High School. They're undefeated. They've had a tough year trying to work through the COVID situation down there.
Right.
They've got a chance to be 4-0 with a quality win over a quality program. So I'm going with the Tigers on this one.
Yeah, I think I'm with my two on the other end. I think I'm going to go with Beckley. I think coming off COVID, sometimes a tough situation. You don't know what kind of effect it had, the fatigue, get back to 100%. So I'm going to go with Woodrow at home.
Parkersburg South 3-2 now. On the road at Bridgeport, the Indians 4-0, undefeated. Another AAA team, new into AAA this year, but undefeated team on the line tonight, playing at home.
Well, I picked against Bridgeport one time this year. I never heard the end of it. These fans up there, they're rabid, they're crazy. They believe in Bridgeport this year, so I'm going with Bridgeport all the way.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Doug again. I feel like they beat John Marshall last week, right? And so they're on a roll. Yeah. They're undefeated. So Bridgeport.
Yeah, the Indians. It's tough to beat them at home. We've been there. Yes. We've had the tailgate show there, and they have quite the atmosphere. Nice. They start tailgating at 4 in the afternoon up there, the students do. But I tell you what, can't underestimate the South Side Psychos. That's what the student section at Parkersburg South calls them. We're going to find out tonight if they're able to travel on the road, be over there to Bridgeport, and to give that team some support. But I don't think it's going to be enough. It's going to be Bridgeport, the Indians.
Yeah, I'm with you. Bridgeport. Look, I'm originally from Fairmont, so I'm familiar with Bridgeport. But Bridgeport, and also I associate them well with South Charleston. They're a community invested in youth athletics, similar to what we do. They're just a great community. So Bridgeport all the way.
Yeah, right. Strong. Another big AAA game here in the Valley. Riverside 0-4, winless on the season, on the road at St. Albans 1-4. Two teams are really trying to find themselves this year. Who wins?
Well, this is a real scientific one for me, Dana. So I got, Riverside is struggling a little bit this year. St. Albans is not having one of their best years either. They're trying to find themselves, but St. Albans is in my district that I represent. So let's go Mayor James down there. I'll never hear the end of it. If I pick against St. Albans Red Dragons, they're going to pull out their second win.
The politics always finds its
comes into
ugly
play.
head into everything.
I tell you.
You can take
scientific.
It out of the politics, but you can't take the politics out of it. So, yeah. Well, I'm going to have to go with Riverside. I'm a DuPont grad.
Of course.
I love that area. I love the kids up there, and I know they're trying really hard. They're working hard, and I just like to see them pull out a win tonight. So go Riverside.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of politics, I don't know how we can go against the mayor of St. Albans, Mr. Scott James,
Got it.
former coach.
Got it.
We'll never hear the end of it.
Never hear the end of it.
No, I know where you're going on this one.
Well, I have to look. My wife's an alum of St. Albans High School, so I'm going with St. Albans basically that. And Scotty's a friend of mine. I've known him forever. Matter of fact, we were lifeguards together at South Charleston Community Center back in the day. We were young.
No.
So I'm going with St. Albans for my wife, though.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Smart
We talked about this game earlier in the previous segment. Chapmanville 1-4 on the road at Hoover 5-0. We put this game in for a reason. I don't think anybody here is probably crazy enough to not pick Hoover on this game. I think the real pick is, will Hoover leave their starters in for the entire game or not tonight? That's what we're trying to figure out.
Well, they took a lot of heat last couple of games. They're feeling good. I mean, Hoover, you got to look what Hoover's been through these last few years.
My goodness.
With the flooding down there and the school and everything. So they're just excited. They're excited to be winning it. But actually, they've got some athletes down there.
They do.
They've got some athletes. I've seen them play. They're 5-0 for a reason. Now, I think they could rest those starters by the middle of third quarter this week. I still see them getting about 50
You're
points.
saying they're going to sit them down. Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Huskies. After they put on that offensive show last week, I don't know how they come back from that. So yeah.
This is a tough one on whether they're going to sit him down or not, because the coach has got a dilemma. If he plays them all the way through, he's got another 70-0 shellacking.
I don't think that would happen.
And if he sits him down, then it looks like he singled out Sissonville, which they're already mad over that. So that's a tough call on that one. But I think he sticks to his guns. He plays them all the way through, 70-0.
Well, I got to support my buddy Mike Kelly, the principal out in Hoover. Mike was assistant principal at South Charleston for a long time, and I would support him no matter who they were playing. So Herbert Hoover.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right, there you go.
Fun on that game.
Yep.
All right, Work County, little Class A game. Hey, get some Class A action here. Work County 3-2 at Doddridge County 4-0. Big rivalry game up there along Route 50.
Well, you know what? I didn't do my homework here like Lisa did, so I know nothing about either of these two teams. But the bottom line is Dodgers at 4-0 at home. I'm going with them.
Being the teacher that I am, I do expect people to do their homework.
I know. I failed you.
I hold myself to a very high standard for that. So, but yeah, I'm going with Doddridge County as well, 4-0.
Yeah, this is a Marcellus Shale oil and gas game.
Yes. It could be.
And I say that one year we went to do the show up there at Doddridge County on their homecoming, and we're there for the homecoming parade, and I had never seen so many expensive trucks and cars and vehicles coming through there. And it was that oil and gas money up there, they were doing pretty good. It was doing pretty good at that time. So I said, hey, these people, good for them. But, I'm going to stick with the Bulldogs on that one there. They go 5-0 tonight.
Yeah, me too. I'm like Doug. I did some homework. I just didn't do homework on this one. But I'll take Doddridge County. Take the home team.
All right, now we get into the real stuff here.
Yeah.
We're right here on this game right here. Yep. GW 3-1 at South Charleston 3-1.
You know what? I was a big fan of GW earlier in the year. They were rocking and rolling. They had a heck of a team. We talked to coach, everything. Then they ran into a buzzsaw there, 2 weeks ago. Listen, I didn't put on this shirt for no reason there, Dana. I'm proud Black Eagle through and through.
Ask.
Class of 1995. We won the state championship that year. We had a beautiful, we did play up here. We didn't have this beautiful turf, but it's just a great night. I'm a Black Eagle through and through. I do love all my friends at GW, but I see South Charleston by 2 touchdowns tonight.
Wow.
All right. He's calling it. He's calling
the points. I'm impressed. I like it. All right. Well, I'm going to have to go with the Black Eagles as well. I feel like Donnie Mays, he has great teams in and out. They'll rebound from that loss last week, and this will be their rebound game.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. As I mentioned before between segments, I've actually taught for a while, a lot of my career at GW and then over here at South Charleston. So I've got a lot of friends on both sides of this, as many people do.
Yep.
So it's a tough one to call. But GW, they've had a week of rest. They had an off week, I think. And Stevie Edwards came up with a game plan. Yeah, and South Charleston coming off a tough loss last week at Spring Valley. I think is on a short turnaround. I think I give the edge to the Patriots tonight.
Oh, nice.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious where I'm going to go. Right? Not only am I the mayor of the city, I'm also an alum here too. I'm a class of '81, a little bit sooner than Doug. But look, I think South Charleston's athletes will come through tonight, and I'm with Doug. I think it's going to be more like a 42-20 type situation.
Yep.
And look, GW's got a great team. We're at home tonight. South Charleston all the way.
Good rebound game, absolutely.
Yeah,
Go
good
Black
rebound.
Eagles.
Well, the thing about it is the loser of this game has 2 losses now, and that's tough in AAA right now and we talked about it as we come on first segment. The winner has an inside track. They move into the top 8 in the rankings and an inside track for a home playoff game. And the value that is in terms of dollars for that program, hosting a game versus having to travel, could be in the thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's a money game.
There'll be another contribution request my way if we don't win, then, I guess.
from all of us.
Get out the checkbook.
So come on, Coach Mays, pull this one out.
Yeah, you got to, Coach. Save me some money, big guy.
All right, show me the money. Yeah. All right. So a game that we're live streaming on the network tonight. Yeah. The Timberwolves of Spring Valley 4-1, looking really tough after that big win over South Charleston last weekend on the road at rival Huntington tonight. Live stream that. You'll be able to watch that game. I want to tell you, on the network, go to Daily WV Gazette, GazetteMail.com or to HeraldDispatch.com. You can watch that game live stream. We'll have that for you there. And so, don't miss. If you can't be here, that's the one you want to see. We'll have Alexia Wade over there, our correspondent, doing live social media updates on it. But 4-1. Let's go. What do we have over there, Doug?
You know what? Just like this game here, GW South Charleston, I know Spring Valley and Huntington, big rivalry game.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Dew Crew, the Huntington Highlanders, all the way.
You go 6-0, huh?
6-0.
Yeah, they're undefeated. They're on a roll. I mean, it's just amazing what they're doing on both sides of the ball. I'm going with Huntington.
Going with Huntington. I tell you what, Spring Valley, I said a while ago, they have a style that just, for whatever reason, has given South Charleston fits over the years. Huntington's a very similar type of offense, I think, in that sense. And so I think Spring Valley, the Timberwolves go where they're giving them trouble, and I think Spring Valley in a close one.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you. I'm going to go for the upset here a little bit, too. Huntington does remind me of South Charleston. Always have a lot of good quality athletes. Spring Valley, well coached, power football.
Yeah.
I just like Spring Valley and how they play the game. I'm going to pick the upset tonight.
Oh wow,
go with Spring Valley.
Okay.
All right, Marshall University. You're talking about fourth quarter losses. They had enough of those, I think, to fill 2 seasons. But they're on the road tomorrow at Middle Tennessee State, and they got to bounce. They're 2-2. They got to bounce back.
You know, I think Marshall, I believe in that coach down there. I think he's going to have them back. They had a tough loss. I don't know if they were expected to win last week, but they sure did give that game away. They had a chance to win up until the end, and I was rooting for them. I wish they would have pulled it off. But they've had, almost a week and a half now to rest. I think they'll be ready to go. They're on the road this game, but I do think they'll bounce back.
This is a tough one for me because I am a Marshall alumni, but, and I think Coach Huff is going to do an amazing job in Huntington eventually. I think this year is a learning curve for him. They've got some things they've got to fix. The fourth quarter meltdowns have to stop, and they have to stop now. And if they don't stop this game, they're going to have a long season ahead. So I'm going to go with Middle Tennessee State.
Oh wow!
Just because Marshall's away.
Well, I'm going to say Marshall alumni here as well, and they've let me down the last 2 weeks. I picked them, and then they've let me down in the fourth quarter. I thought I had it, but I got to stay with them. They're going to get. They're going to get the win.
Turns their karma around me picking the other team. Maybe it'll be
third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. I'm going with the Herd.
It's a tough one for me, too. I'm going to go with Marshall just because they're Marshall and they're our backyard. But, look, Middle Tennessee, they don't be fooled by the record. They lost to Virginia Tech and they lost to a good San Antonio team. So they can play, and I wouldn't be surprised if they would win. They got a quarterback.
Started like this past week, and he had a phenomenal game.
It wouldn't surprise me if Middle Tennessee would win. But I'll pick Marshall just because it's Marshall.
Yep.
I'll be the black sheep. It's okay. Big shoulders.
All right, so we're getting ready to hit the WVU and Texas Tech. Before we do, I want to thank our sponsors here, Frontier Communications, Parmar Stores, Dutch Miller Auto Group, Thomas Health System, Army Recruiting, Ben Salango Law, West Virginia Coal Association, Poca Valley Banks, Chick-fil-A, Southridge, Adelphia, Todd Judy Ford, and Stevens Auto Center, all helping make this presentation possible tonight. So now we go to the WU.
Well, you know what? I'm a big Mountaineer. It's no secret, but the Mountaineers, I didn't expect to win last week on that game on national TV, but they stepped it up. They brought it. They left it all out there. They made a couple mental errors, I think, that cost them the game. But to hold Oklahoma to 13 points, I'm really proud of our defense. We're retiring Darryl Talley's number 90 on the defensive side. I think the defense is going to step it up again. I'm a little nervous about Texas Tech. They've beaten us the last 2 years. It's one of those teams you don't get so psyched up for all the time when they sneak up and beat you. I do believe the Mountaineers will win. I think the line is around 8. I think the Mountaineers will win about 10 or 12, but it's going to be closer than people think.
All right. Well, they're in Morgantown. It's a Big 12 opener. Texas Tech didn't play so hot last week, if I recall.
No,
they got it handed to them. Got it handed to them. The only worry that you might have is the Mountaineers might have a little bit of an emotional letdown with the Oklahoma game.
Yep.
But I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow. I pick the Mountaineers.
Yeah, and I think the emotional letdown may be more with the fans than it is with the players. I think the players in the defense is looking. They've two good performances in a row. I think they look good. I think the offense is coming around. But I'll be interested to see if they're – I'm not sure they're going to have a sellout out there at this game. I think there's a little bit of let off in probably the crowd. But I think the team is there. I think they get the win tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. Look, West Virginia was a better team last week. That's my opinion. I watched that game, and I'm like Doug. I'm real high on their defense. Normally this is a shootout. Texas Tech got their hat handed to them last week, as was mentioned. I like West Virginia big because I think our defense is really, really good. And so I like West Virginia by at least 2 touchdowns, if not more.
All right.
I really do.
Let's go Mountaineers. Yeah.
All right, so there you have it, the sweep across the board for the Mountaineers tonight.
And you're watching sports on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media, the Dutch Miller Tailgate Show. We're here trackside at South Charleston High School. And Mayor Frankie Mullins with us here helping do. We appreciate the picks there. You rolled with it pretty good.
He did do his homework.
Yeah,
take
you on the road.
As a parent.
A little bit.
Take you on the road with us. But we're just minutes away from kickoff here, so we want to tie you up. I think this is going to be a big one. You got to make your way around. I know a lot of people want to see you and talk to you. Yep. We have some T-shirts we're going to be throwing up to the fans tonight after the show, so we're going to kind of get some people going here on both sides. So it's just a great night. It's really kind of T-shirt weather. And I don't want to ruin it. Like I said, we've had great football weather across West Virginia. No matter where you're at tonight, whatever school you're rooting for, we wish you well and a safe and happy outcome. And you're watching it now on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media. We'll see you next week.
What started as the Parmar Oil Company in 1967 has grown into 116 convenience stores in 4 states. Parmar convenience stores offer monthly product specials and grab-and-go items. Located just down the street from where you live, Parmar stores are all about being your above-par convenience store. If you don't have a Parmar store near you now, you will soon. Parmar Convenience Stores, neighbors serving your community and making life a little bit easier every day.
Due to the recent impact on automotive supply chains, the fastest way to get a brand new vehicle right now is to order direct from the manufacturer. Introducing the Dutch Miller Subaru advantage of ordering the vehicle you want the way you want it and getting it faster. Just visit Dutch Miller Subaru between now and October 9th. Order the exact vehicle you want and register to win $5,000. We're taking orders now, and it pays to order from Dutch Miller, the home of friends and family pricing for everyone.
Looking for a friendly bank that you can turn to in your community? Bank where the decisions on your needs are made locally. With online banking and 7 locations. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
We know who we are, where we've been, where we're going. Like hospitals all over America, we are changing, redefining, restructuring ourselves to be the best community health system in the region we serve. We are 2 hospitals with more than 30 locations, 450 providers, and 1 mission: to heal. As one, we are Thomas Health, caring for our communities today and tomorrow.
People keep asking me how Todd Judy Ford has the best selection of vehicles at a time of national shortage.
The secret is our 130% of Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in.
Everyone wants to trade the car with us and get more money.
And now we're making it even better.
We will beat any other dealer's trade offer by $1,000 guaranteed.
If we can't beat it, we'll just give you the cash.
So bring in that car, upgrade your vehicle, and get top dollar for your trade-in now.
Just go to ToddJudyFord.com and see for yourself.
A new day begins, and what happens today must be covered, reported, and passed on to everyone in the region we serve. We are journalists, staff writers, editors, storytellers. Who are we? We are HD Media, trustworthy and always here for the times we live in.